my name is AI Candy, virtual content creator and VTuber. This video is a cut up version of a recent stream that I did where I had somebody come in and ask me questions about how to become a VTuber. And it also comes from a place of me reflecting on the fact that I've had a lot of people approach me in the space over the years and mention that my old videos actually gave them a lot of insight and got them interested in the first place. So this isn't a comprehensive guide because I don't believe I'm in a position to ever really give something like that. I can link to videos in a playlist which will have resources on how to become a VTuber as per 2025 because some programs are no longer relevant, but I'm going to try and do my best to provide this as like a catch-all 2025 update. Just to acknowledge, this is a Suica model, which is a customizable model. So it's a one that I purchased for the cost of like 120 US, 200 Australian basically. If you know me from my old videos, I've had pink hair, I've had black and pink hair, I had big bows, I was 3D, I was 2D, I've looked all kinds of ways. Also, there's a cat on my neck who is my little boneless guy that Buff made me. Just to prove my point, I really just want to nail it home. I don't know why I thrust it and said nail it home. I just really want to nail it home that VTubing can look however you want it to look, and it can be, it's a creative medium. It's something where you can express yourself. It has provided me a career, friends, opportunities, travel. I've done so much and I'm very grateful for it. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with other people. I even converted my roommate into being a VTuber. I will convert anyone that I can. Hopefully this covers everything. Onto the video. Proper VR model. So my Kaze, I would recommend, wait, hold up. Booth.pm or Etsy. You can actually buy models. Like, for example, I mean, obviously it depends on gender presentation, design, concept, and also sometimes it can be hard to find certain hair types, skin colors, that kind of thing represented. But for example, so this model is actually a Minecraft model that was a free one. It's free to use, free to buy. Minecraft. Want a custom one? Yeah, but why do you want a custom one? The way that I did it, and everyone's different. Like, some people haven't experience with, Vroid's really good. I used Vroid for the first like 2 years of my streaming. My model, well, so if I was you, I would just have, sorry, let me just put my jacket on. If I was you, I would just have like, just say like, oh, this is like my human like incognito mode. And then you can still have art. Got veils. Yeah. Well, these are this model and the previous one, this one were both $10, and then the Minecraft one was free. I would say just have like a human incognito design, and then be like, one day when I get enough, like, you know, invest the money that you make from your streams back into getting models, because that's literally what I did, and I know that that's like, I don't know. It's not really. It simultaneously does obviously help to have like a model that people wanna. To like, I just always am a little bit cautious of the idea of putting a bunch of money into a custom model just as an upfront cost. I really think that there's value in making the money from streams and then taking that money and then slowly incrementing and investing and improving with time. And like, for example, if you're like a little heartbeat, I mean, I don't want to tell you like, I don't know what is a reasonable price or like what you can afford, but there's definitely model makers, like you could get like a chibi model of like the design that you want, or you could get like a simpler model, or one that's like or you could also buy a base from Booth and then just customize it with like Unity, which you could technically do, like you could find assets and then kind of mix and match them together, assuming they're allowed for commercial purposes. Or Vroid again, if you use Vroid, especially like depending on what aspect the like harpy design comes into. But I do think just incrementing it as you grow and as you get money from streaming is the best way to do it, in my opinion, unless you already make content and you know what it's like to be a content creator and know how to monetize and are pretty confident. But I've just seen so many people that buy a $10,000 model and a bunch of assets and a bunch of screens and a bunch of emotes, and then they like quit like a month out. You might 2 to 3 back. Well, I can't really tell you what to do because I got very lucky. I just made content that I was like passionate about, and I had like friends who rated me a bunch at the start of my journey, and it kind of gave me a platform. But also prior to that, I did like 5 years of streaming IRL, and then I quit for like a bit, and then I kind of came back and I hit the ground running. I just do what I want for myself. Streaming is your chance to rant for hours. True. Go live, make the best content that you can while live, regardless of the audience that you have in chat, because the reality, actually, there was a piece of advice that I got from a video forever ago, and it's basically that streaming to 0 viewers is the same, or even 1 viewer, is the same as streaming to 10,000 people, because when you're at the 10,000, like, oh my god, yay, 10,000 viewers. Of course, that's like a good amount of people, but it's still comes down to the fact that you are essentially talking to yourself, because it's really difficult to maintain a conversation with chat when it's like that fast, because it's just a bunch of emotes, it's a bunch of messages, and like, so you kind of have to learn how to carry a conversation and speak on your own anyway. I've heard about this new form that other streamers have been using, where the larger streamers rate smaller ones, but then you still have to be making good content baseline. You can get rated by all kinds of people, but if you aren't working on yourself, how you speak, how you put your content out, and like but also I think that there's not everyone enjoys or wants to turn streaming into a full-time job, and not everybody is prepared to be self-critical in a way that is going to let them become a full-time streamer. It is like a job in its own way, and it's not an easy, it's like isn't an easy job. I'm very lucky. I love my job. It's very flexible, lets me be creative, but there's like a lot behind the scenes that I work on to help me to then stream. Like, I don't know. I can definitely talk at length about this because I've streamed since 2015, so I've been streaming for like 10 years, technically, but like on and off, and I went through a lot of my like mental struggles with it, and like getting stuck at small numbers, or like just being self-negative, whatever. But raids are like a nice opportunity to like meet new people and to show off. It's like there's a marketing concept where the more that you see something, the more that you assume it may be a good product because it's persisted over time. They do that with like chocolate. It's not so much that the first time you see it you buy it, but it's more that the more consistent exposure that you have to it, it builds a brand recognition and then an association, and then it may take time of you just getting exposed to people. I follow Jacksepticeye's advice from just if you're gaming town on the stream and just go down with it. Yeah, again, I really do think that just going live and putting on the best show that you can while you're live is great, because then you can get clips from it. I also use a program called I used to use a program called CapCut. Also on Twitch, they've added a new tool that after your streams, you can edit clips and export them in like it like helps. You can put the face cam or whatever and the gameplay, and then you can like export that out and then put subtitles on it in CapCut, for example. And they have a tool that like auto generates captions, which you can also just manually write the captions, and then you can upload directly to like TikTok. Reeling it back a little bit, something to be mindful of is whatever amount of viewers that you have when you're streaming is not a result of you going live at the time. It's a result of the previous like month or 90 days of marketing and how much you've been putting yourself out there, and trends at the time, and also the category that you're in. So it's just be mindful that like whatever results that you're going to see on Twitch are not from you just going live. Really, like, I mean, it's like yes and no. Yes, you do have to just go live, but also at the same time, what you're experiencing is not because of you or because how you are that day. It's a result of the prior marketing and the time you've invested and whatever. This is such a weird like thing, because I feel like it's kind of taboo to like talk about viewership, but there's kind of an upper limit on how much advice I can really give you and how much I'm willing to give you, because I'm in a different position. Like I was very fortunate when I started streaming, because I was living at home with my parents, but then I also started during COVID. And there was a huge boom of interest, and also first when VTubers sort of were like trending, I guess. So it's a very saturated market. Not to say that it's impossible, but it's definitely a different space. So my experience and what worked for me is just not going to necessarily be applicable. Just to point something out, you said that you're trying to grow and that you want to buy a model and you want to like get a custom model, no doubt, but also that the streaming should be fun and it's not about the numbers. If you want to keep streaming as a hobby, you totally can, but just don't put pressure on yourself to like be like, I need a custom model, I need da-da-da-da, because it is true that you should stream for fun, but then also it's that like pivot point of like, if it's a hobby, then yeah, numbers are just numbers. It doesn't matter. Have fun with it. But the second that you're like, I want to go full time, I want a custom model, I want to make this the thing that I do, I want to grow. The second that you flip that, like the second that you decide that you want to do that, you can do it as a job and still think it's fun, but it also does require some like self-reflection and more planning and more effort with regards to marketing, like making external like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube shorts, like that kind of stuff. You can't and I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not, and like, you know, maybe that's not good advice, but I'm just saying that on my side, it's difficult because it is true that you should just go live, have fun. But the second that you're like, I want to make this a full-time job, I want to make money, I want to get sponsors, I want to grow, I want to go be professional, it flips the switch of like expectation. But I do think that there's value in being dedicated, turning up, wanting to grow, while still keeping the hobby mindset. It's more just about not being self-critical because you can't afford to get custom models and things like that. It's definitely a balancing act. It feels kind of like stupid right now for me to be like talking big game when I'm like at such a comparatively low viewership to what I'm normally at, but shrug emoji, it is what it is. I'm like, yeah, actually chat, this is like my 5D Giga Chad brain play of like how to grow and how to like blah blah blah. Meanwhile, I don't know. I want to reach an audience, but I don't want to do the social game of figuring out what I can do. Disaster. Oh, that's actually, okay, so kind of a double-edged sword answer. I was finding that I was being very short-tempered, very like snappy, not being able to deal with chat, not being very mentally flexible, I guess, getting stressed out easily, a bunch of stuff. So I decided to assess like my diet, my exercise, my sleep patterns, a bunch of stuff. The fact that I work with Buffpop makes me envious. I think that having creators that you would love to work with one day is a fair thing to like want, but at the same time, you should be receptive to just whoever you vibe with and like just make friends as you're able to. Like I appreciate the fact that you want to work with Buff, but she's also just like my friend that I made by just like going to I think I went to like a New Year's party, then we just did collabs and stuff. Like you'll make, I bet you anything that if you just keep putting yourself out there and socializing, you'll be able to make friendships and find people, so you'll be able to like make your own crew. Or maybe one day, like, you know, I don't know, it could be a collab one day, as in like you could work up, like, I don't know, run into people, make the right connections, you stream with people that you'd love to stream with. I grew up watching, I say grew up, but like I watched Rooster Teeth, and I loved like Ray. I was like, oh, Ray's really funny, haha, like that's so cool. And then like, what, 10 years later, like I got to do a Mario Party with stream with him. So I don't know, like I definitely, I have been in that position, but I think it's important to just recognize that people are people and peers are peers, and like if you just make cool content and create a positive space and do what's best for you, the people that you're meant to meet, you will meet. And yeah, is this VTuber thing free? Chat, I tell you what, it's so funny because you know how I was like, man, I didn't have any patience for chat. I feel like a week ago I would have like crashed out by now, but I feel like a primary school teacher. And I feel like I'm educating people. But that's a good sign that the diet and the exercise and the sleep is good and is working, because I'm not screaming at people. There's a program on Steam called Vroid. There's also a program called Warudo. There's also Booth, and there's Etsy. You can find models for like $10 and under. You can find all kinds of things out there if you just do some research, if you just Google it. I'm not Google, so I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you Vroid on Steam. I should do a fucking just a new like short 5-minute like, hey guys, blah blah blah. Oh, PNGTubers, actually that's a fair, oh gee, that's like a okay. On Pic Crew there's commercially free to use pictures basically. I'll get an example of what a pic crew is, because you can actually get pretty creative with that if you try. Like this, for example, I made like a little pic crew of my design, and then there's like this one. So if you find like a pic crew that you like and it's flagged for commercial use is okay, what you could do is make like 2 pic crews. So one with the mouth open and like maybe different eyes or something, and then one with the mouth closed, and then you could just do a Fugi. And a Fugi chat. Let me get a link. Oh yeah, Boo. Yeah, so many people start out with just PNGTubers. I had a Vroid model. So I actually, oh wait, am I, oh there I am. I drew this myself because I can draw, so thankfully I have that. I made this for when I was doing tabletop, which unfortunately that got cancelled because people were just not able to be there consistently. His name is Mao. He's like a Kitari, which is like a cat boy basically. Also, if you mute him, he gets gagged. Like if I was like a VTuber and like I was like, hey guys, like welcome to the stream, like have a good, you know, whatever, like have a good. It kind of works the same as like having like a model. And then I also have this one, which was made by Sea Party, which I think was like, I don't know how much, like maybe 50 bucks. But you could just get like a little scrungly guy like this. I don't know, just I guess like think about it from this angle. Some people successfully became faceless streamers essentially, right? They have no model. They just talk. Like that's what it is. That's the content. Like so a model is truly like the icing on a cake. It's some cakes are good without icing. And some cakes you only need like a little bit of icing. So you prefer faceless? Some people just fucking hate you. They don't want you to stream. And you just gotta say, fuck, shit, you're right. Damn. All right, fair enough. I didn't mean to do that, chat. So again, my baseline suggestions, Pick Crew, Booth.pm, Vroid, Etsy, and VGen. Actually, now I can add that. Those are some options. You get scouted by agencies, you apply. I don't know. I'm not in an agency. I have no idea. I made my own. I don't fucking know. Vtubing seems fun, but you need to be 18 plus. Are you not 18 plus? If you're under 18, fucking finish school. Like, don't be like, oh, I have to go quickly to my fucking go fucking do your homework. I wonder if I could be like, I could probably get my editor just to grab the stuff that I've been saying and be like, hey, could you just like cram this into an educational video? I feel kind of bad just being like, hello editor, could you just like grab what I said and then pick out what you think is good and then make it a video and then that's it. I used to make educational content about how to VTube. So it may be worth, I could talk about hardware and stuff and be like, this is like, this is what I use. And based on what I understand, these are options as well. This and be like, this is not a comprehensive guide. This is just my experience being the person that I am. Kaze, one note, even if I never make it to the same level as any of it, don't say that about yourself. Don't, like, this is such a mom advice thing, but don't add caveats and don't talk yourself down. There's a difference between being confident and being arrogant and adding like things like, even if I never get to I understand you're saying that from a place of like self-recognition and making peace with it, but it's okay to be like, I'm gonna take that advice and do my best. You don't need the part about saying that you won't reach that level. It doesn't matter. There's no level. We're not in competition. Everyone is on their own like journey. Everybody is doing their own thing. And I think that that's just something to remember, is that everyone is like, dude, that sounds so fucking, I meant it in a nice way. Like, everyone is independent. Everyone is doing their own thing. So whatever, you're going to do the best that you can up to whatever you can achieve. And I want that for you. We're all on our own journeys. We're not competing. We're all parallel. Rising tide lifts all ships. Every success that I see my friends get is success that like I'm proud to see. And like every win that the VTubing community gets is great. It's great across the board. Like, it's amazing to see VTubers, like, wasn't like Gura or whatever at the fucking baseball game in Japan, and that was huge. Like, it's just cool. It's cool to see recognition and yeah. I know it's like a small thing, and I don't mean to pick at words, but I don't know. That's just something that I try to think about, because the second that you start comparing yourself to other people, it just gets it can get very toxic / very, you can get very negative towards yourself when that's like not really necessary. Anyway, and I feel like I've really kind of like beat the point into the ground. I think I'm gonna call it a stream is kind of my point.